What's up, Crossbridge families? Hey, we're super excited that you're joining us. And yes, that actually happened. It was an awesome adventure, and we still have another week of the Fab Five. So, Miss Rachel, wherever you are, get ready. That's right, get ready, because there is another fun challenge coming your way. Now, guys, we're learning all about prophets, and we know that prophets are messengers sent from God to share his message with his people. So the prophet that we're learning about today, his name is Jeremiah. Now, Jeremiah was sent by God to the nation of Judah. Now, I want you guys at home to imagine this. Has there ever been a time when you've been talking to either mom or dad or brother or sister, grandma and grandpa, whoever, and you keep telling them the same thing over and over and over and over, and you just feel like they're not getting it? Well, that's exactly how Jeremiah felt, because he came to spread this message from God, and nobody was listening to him. And he tried this for years and years and years. And in fact, it was like he was talking to a wall. Like he was talking to nobody. No one was listening to what he had to say, which was so frustrating. Now, all around Israel, large nations were rising up, and Israel was being overtaken by the Babylonians. Now, in Judah, there was a king, and this king wanted to stay loyal. He wanted to have peace in his nation, and so he would pay the Babylonians so they weren't overtaken. So instead of being overtaken, he handed over money to them over time to keep the peace in his nation. But the king was starting to get tired of doing this, and he didn't want to keep paying the Babylonians off. And they were getting ready to fight the Babylonians. So Jeremiah confronts the king. So he goes to the king, and he's wearing a yoke. No, he's not like wearing an egg. Like it's not like a yoke that you find in an egg. It's actually a different kind of yoke. So back then, there would have been a really big, heavy piece of wood that would have gone around two different animals, usually oxen. They were really big and they were really strong, and so it would go around these two animals. Now, one animal would generally be larger and stronger than the other, and the larger, stronger animal would lead the yoke where to go. And the smaller animal, you guessed it, would follow the larger animal. So Jeremiah comes in and he says to the king, "You are yoked, you are connected with the Babylonians, and they are the bigger, stronger oxen here. So whatever they do, you are going to follow." That's kind of what God had arranged. So Jeremiah was coming to share this news. He basically was saying, don't fight the Babylonians, because God already has a plan for this. If you would just accept and serve the Babylonians, your people, they'll live. But if you fight the Babylonians like you're preparing to, like you want to, your people will surely die. Now, the king had another advisor, and this advisor wasn't telling the truth. And so he came in and just said, basically, that's all just a bunch of baloney. We should fight them. We should take them down. And he urged the king to press forward with the plans for battle. And here's the deal, guys. The king didn't listen to Jeremiah, and instead he listened to this other advisor. So they prepared for battle, and in fact, the walls of Jerusalem fell. You guys know how like Miss Rachel fell from that plane? The walls of Jerusalem fell to the ground. There were about 2.5 years of fighting. The Babylonians took prisoners. It was a terrible, awful thing. And guys, Jeremiah was so sad because he had gone and warned the people. He had told the king, and the king simply did not listen to him. And it was really, really sad. Now, this story comes from this word that we're going to talk about. It's called lamenting. Lamenting is to be sad about something. It actually means lament is to weep. And so people call Jeremiah the weeping prophet because this was such a sad, terrible thing to happen. Now, guys, in our own lives, sad things happen all the time. It's true. It happens to everybody, kids and grown-ups included. And I want to show you something. I have two little things here, a can of soda. Now, here is the thing. Sometimes in life, sad things happen. This is empty. There's nothing in there. So when sad things happen, we can start to feel empty inside. And it can be really uncomfortable and not fun. So we're sad right down here. And here's the thing, sadness can feel super heavy, and it can be really hard to deal with. And sometimes it can just crush us. It can crush us. Guys, this soda thing does not look quite the same. Sadness can crush us, but there's hope, and I'll tell you why. So here we are again. Here we are, empty from sadness. And I want you to see this. Here we are here. But there's something different. This jar represents God. Now, God, can we see him with our own eyes? No, he's invisible. But he's still there. And guess what? He's really strong. This jar is, I can't crush it. So we can still be sad. In fact, it happens all the time, right? But when God is with us, watch what happens. So we may feel sad, and that's okay. But when God is with us, and the sadness gets so heavy, do you think that the sadness can crush us? No, because God is always on our side. Now we're going to jump on over to the studio and learn a little bit more about this together.
Kristen,
Rachel,
listen.
how is that fall?
The fall. I tried to tell you that the fall of Jerusalem and me falling out of an airplane, not the same type of falling.
They're pretty much the same.
Okay.
Could you see Jerusalem from up there?
No, I saw the wedge and sand planet is what I
You
saw.
probably did.
But, Kristen, in all seriousness, this is a great lesson to have right now because there's been a lot of sadness in 2020.
There really has been. A lot of disappointment.
Lots of disappointment.
Yeah.
So seasons canceled, not able to go to school.
Events,
Yeah.
parties,
All of it.
all of it.
Like, just, it feels like each day you're like, now what?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's hard even for adults not to be
Oh, yeah.
crushed with sadness.
Yep.
So, but on the bright side, I have a fabulous challenge for you.
For me?
You've been putting me through the ringer, like fire bombs and creek torture, fishing, skydiving,
Whaling. We could call that whaling.
Yeah, whaling. So
Yeah, I noticed there's little heart situation.
yeah, and it's
What's
a
up with
puzzle. So we're gonna have
Okay.
a cutting contest. Get your scissors
this?
up.
Okay. Let me.
So the trick is you have to cut it apart
Uh-huh.
and then put it back together.
Okay.
So
Here we go.
Okay, go.
All right. These are tiny scissors. Why do you got the big scissors?
Yeah, well, I wanted you to be
Because-
safe, so I gave you the safety scissors.
Safety scissors.
Yes. Because,
You know, I'm not sure safety scissors are like the safest thing. You know what I'm saying?
okay. And then,
Alright.
here we go.
Hey, what the heck? How are you getting that done so fast? Rachel.
Oh, well, there was like a complicated version
Rachel.
and like a little younger
I don't like how
kid
this is sounding, Rachel.
version for like the younger kids. It had like less cuts.
I smell a cheater.
And I might have pre-cut mine a little bit. Done.
What
Time out.
the heck? This was not a fair situation. Rachel.
Well, who told you life was gonna be fair?
Listen.
Kristen? I think you're getting a
Look,
little
she
elevated,
cheated.
a little angry,
cheated.
and I think we learned today when we have strong emotions in
Uh-huh.
our life, whether it be sadness or anger or frustration or disappointment,
Okay.
that God shields us from those
Emotions.
debilitating emotions that can crush us down. Anxiety.
That's
Yep,
true.
you're seeming a little anxious
I'm
right
a little.
now.
Look at this.
About the
Heart.
cut. You missed a couple cuts.
Thank you
there.
for that.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I just wanted to make sure you do it right.
That's
Um,
keeping the jar in check.
yes. Okay. So challenge.
Yeah, so families, kiddos, we have a challenge for you. For a time this week, life kind of gets crazy, or think of a time recently when you've been sad or overwhelmed, or the next time when you're sad or overwhelmed. Remember that God is there to shield you from those crazy, frustrating, sad emotions.
Yeah.
And that He's strong for you, and He'll shield you from those things.
Yeah. And really, we just need the power of prayer. Like when you're feeling sad, so think about a time. I mean, come on, it's 2020. You can think of lots of times where maybe you felt sad,
Uh-huh.
disappointed, anxious. and tell your parents about it.
Mhm.
And then maybe you guys as a family could pray and ask for God's protection and shielding of those strong emotions.
Yes, indeed.
One more week of the
One more
Fabulous
week,
Five.
Rachel.
I
Get
can't-
ready.
I can't wait for
It's gonna be
the next
fabulous.
challenge. They always are.